Did you see that Biden speech at Morehouse College?
No.
It's a black college, and he went. They gave him an honorary degree. It's where MLK went.
This is when?
Just this past weekend. So they gave him an honorary degree, and he did, gave a speech. And first of all, the fact that they're giving an honorary degree to Joe Biden, who's like, I mean, the list of racist comments that guy has made is as long as Santa's scroll, but okay, fine. They made him feel good about himself. And then, do we have it, you guys? I think we have a bit of a soundbite of him, or we're pulling it over. But it was the most pandering, absurd picture of blacks in America and the present day and America's relation to our black population. It was absolutely disgusting. It was like he was trying to stir up racial hatred right there live, to the point where a couple of the black students turned their backs on him, which was pretty extraordinary. And he does it all the time, right? I'll show you the soundbite as soon as you get it cued. But
well, Democrats,
this is not unusual.
Democrats should be asking themselves, why does Trump each election do better, not worse, with minorities and immigrants? Not worse, better. Did better in 2020 than 2016 and seems to be doing better this time. That's a question Democrats really need to look in the mirror and ask themselves. And with the immigrants, I think I know the answer. I'll save them the trouble. Immigrants don't like it that the left seems to have this unrelenting negativity toward the country that these immigrants work so hard to get here.
Good point.
They really worked hard to get here. And when Trump says shithole, it's a shithole, I think a lot of them are going, yeah, you're right, it's a shithole where I came from. Why do you think I got on the ocean on a raft or walked 1,000 miles? Because I was living in paradise? There are places that are shitty in this world, and the immigrants know it. And you know, it's not corny or conservative to say that to acknowledge that you're lucky if you're living in this country at this moment in history.
Yeah. Well, it was a different message at Morehouse. Here it is. Watch.
I don't like the fact you saw how she asked him a specific question about Biden pandering, and he completely dodged that and started talking about Trump speaking ill about immigrants, about people in other countries that just want to flood our country illegally. And he was right. But guess what? Bill Maher never addressed what Megyn Kelly said about Joe Biden, though. Why is that? Why is that? That right there that should show you something. It tells me a lot. Hopefully it tells you a lot too. I don't like this mess because she just let him just talk. And then she said, okay, let me just show you what happened. And he's about to skirt this too. He's not going to take responsibility for his side of things. We already know where he stands, but he's not going to take responsibility. And she didn't even hold him accountable just now. But the fact that she had him on the show and she's about to show him a clip of it, hopefully he says something that's worth listening to right now.
You started college just as George Floyd was murdered. And there was a reckoning on race. It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. And most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure? Well, that's my commitment to you, to show you democracy is still the way. If black men are being killed in the street, we bear witness. For me, that means to call out the poison of white supremacy, to root out systemic racism. I stood up for George Floyd's family to help create a country. We don't need to have that talk with your son or grandson as they get pulled over.
Oh, joy. That's his vision of life as a black man in America.
Yeah, it's anachronistic.
Right.
Not
See the
that-
one guy popping out from the back. It was almost like he was like, "What'd you just say?"
And it's not that there isn't still racism in this country, of course, and racists. Just as there will always be criminals, there will always be racists, and we should always be mindful of that and do what we can to call it out. But it's a very different country than it was even 10 years ago. And to be telling black students that you have to be 10 times better to get ahead, that's anachronistic. That's not the case.
Being anachronistic, that's not the case. He never speaks like that. He never speaks like that. Like he gets real colorful in the way that he describes things. Like he started using choice words to make his point felt, to make it felt so you can feel whatever he has to say. When he's talking about Biden, oh man, it's baby gloves. Baby gloves are on. We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach. That's what it is. We're putting the baby gloves on to talk about Biden because Biden needs to be protected at all times because it's all about his social credit score. We can't really address exactly what's going on. They even cut it off. They cut that part of the conversation off because he just started blabbering and he really didn't say much after that.
It's a diagnosis of what's going on with us right now. And in part, to me, it picks up on something you said to me shortly before I came on your show after my own cancellation at NBC. And you said, you seem to me, privately, you said, you seem to me kind of like me right now, which is somebody without a political home. And I felt that way. And I still feel that way. I mean, I've been a registered independent forever, but I know exactly what you're saying. Just the world's lost its mind. And I certainly would never put on somebody's team jersey anymore.
Right, without a team.
Yep.
Right. And you know what? I like it that way because I don't want to be a part of a team. I mean, I would say I caucus with the Democrats more. I definitely think the right wing is much more dangerous. They don't believe in democracy anymore, and they threw their lot in with a sociopath named Donald Trump. So, no, he's not.
No, I just I want to talk about your feelings on Trump.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But this is how, so you and I are very similar. I feel like you're kind of a 4 and I'm a 6 on the ideological scale. We have a lot of overlap, but you're definitely still going to vote Democrat, and I'm definitely going to vote Republican. But there's enough commonality to make us shake our heads yes when the other one speaks a lot.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
I am going to vote for Trump, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even understand that. And I understand that Biden is deeply flawed.
Make him understand, please, Megyn Kelly. Please make him understand.
But he does believe in our way of life. And, I mean, I was the one who was saying from the very beginning when everyone was laughing at me that Donald Trump will never give up power. And he didn't. He still hasn't conceded the last election. I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. You really think this is a place this country should be? Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
But what's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
Oh!
That's important too. And
How about young men on college campuses getting due process when they...
Oh, let's go, Megyn. Let's go, Megyn. Thank you. Thank you, Megyn. I was waiting for it. Because one thing I always say is that Megyn usually lets you have it. Thank you so much, Megyn. Let's get it.
They get accused falsely of...
Well, I think that's a false equivalency. I think these things
Bullshit. What do you mean?
I think these things are important. But you can handle these things through the normal due process of our system.
Yes, bruh.
But if we lose the system itself, come on.
But we didn't.
We didn't so far.
He tried it. It failed.
Right. And now he's had 4 years to put in place people who will make it work again. I don't know if there'll be a John Rafsenberger in Georgia, a noble Republican who stood up to him. He thought last time that he could count on someone being just a Republican to do his bidding. And what he found out was that there are a lot of decent people who are Republicans, which is something I'm trying to tell the Democrats all the time. You can hate Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. And you certainly can't hate half the country. And Republicans is not a byword for bad people. And a lot of them stood up. I mean, even ones who I don't like very much, Mitt Romney, McConnell, obviously Liz Cheney, Chris Christie. There were Mike Pence. These are what I call as good as it gets Republicans, for the people who don't like Republicans. They full-throatedly said Trump lost that election.
Mm-hmm.
No two ways about it. McConnell said it wasn't even a particularly close election.
A lot of people said it. A lot of people said it. But look, I agree with you that the majority of the Republican Party doesn't believe that. But I do think there's a difference between it was stolen, you know, the nonsense with Dominion voting machines and all that, versus it wasn't fair. And
what wasn't fair? The
election. Don't get me started. What wasn't fair?
Okay. Well, the
How
election.
about the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story? Just for one.
Oh, for sake. Really? Oh.
Yes, really, man. Come on, bruh. He is so deep inside of Joe Biden's that he will not address things that are right there in front of him. Okay.
Then we're not as alike as you think. That's a stupid non-story. I mean, yes.
Says who? There are polls that show some 10 to 12% of the electorate says they would have changed their mind had they seen it, had they known about it.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right to suppress it, but nobody gives a fuck about Hunter.
Come on, bruh. You know they do. Stop playing. Nobody cares. You know for a fact that if it was Joe, if this was Donald Trump's son, who was butterball naked inside of a hotel holding a gun with some hookers sniffing cocaine, you would have been talking about it. Stop playing. Please let me know in the comments if you think Bill Maher would not have had the same energy if this was Donald J. Trump's son. If this was Donald Trump's son, do you think that this would have been a big story to Bill Maher? And anybody else on MSNBC, CNN, you name it. Come on now, he's disingenuous right now, and he knows he is. And you can tell by the way he's stuttering. And Megyn Kelly, thank you. Thank you, Megyn.
Biden's
Nobody. You're talking about yourself. I'm telling you, there are data to show people did care. They said they would have changed their vote.
Nobody who was going to vote for Trump anyway, or Biden anyway.
Bro.
I mean,
it wasn't about Hunter Biden's man parts. It was about the scandal of his corruption and his dad's corruption. Bill, I used to think that Hunter Biden was a hot mess and Joe Biden was embarrassed by him but had to deal. Now I really think he was doing Joe Biden's bidding. Joe Biden is the bad guy who sent his drug-addled son out there to collect money. That's what the laptop shows.
And that's more important than what I was bringing up about not abiding by election results, not respecting what always made this country great, the peaceful transference of power.
I don't disagree with you on that. You're not going to get me to say it was a great thing the way Trump behaved.
I don't have to get you to agree or disagree. You're obviously someone who looks at an elephant and a mouse and cannot tell which one is bigger.
I disagree. I think
I know.
That's projection by you because I look at Joe Biden.
That's how I see you.
Well, let's talk about
why are you telling me this. I mean, this is just typical right-wing talking points. The evil Hunter Biden and the evil Joe Biden. And look, do I like them? No, I don't particularly like them. I think they're very flawed.
Listen.
It's not nearly on the scale.
You're misstating my argument. You're misstating my argument. That Hunter Biden just now on the laptop was brought up as evidence of how the election was not fair. He's not a reason necessarily to not vote for Joe Biden. The reason not to vote for Joe Biden is his policies. You're not woke. He's as woke, or at least his policies are, as they come. The open border bill? How could anybody vote for somebody who keeps this border open with the number of rapes and the number of murders and the numbers of crimes going on with these immigrants?
All the drugs that are coming in and all the people who are dying and all of the blah, 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 blah. All the all of the hotels that are being taken up by bodies that are not Americans, by all of the shelters that are being taken up by bodies that are not Americans, all of the money and resources that are being given to people who are not Americans. We got people living on the street who have fought for our country, bruh, and ain't nobody helping them out. But these other people, they can sneak over to our country and we give them cell phones, we giving them money, we giving them clothes, we giving them little bags that got toiletries. We putting them up in hotels, nice hotels. We putting them up in shelters, nice shelters. We're feeding them with, come on, man. Bill Maher is full of sugar honey iced tea, man. You are being exposed by Megyn Kelly, and you know it.
Yeah, but again, these are the normal sorts of issues we've always had in this country that should be taken care of through the normal process we've had. You're talking about the difference between I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is
yeah, he's still trying to make his point and won't address anything that she brought up. Nothing. And he keeps trying to make it seem like that Jan 6 was the worst thing that ever happened to this country. Are you kidding me? It's not even on the scale. It's not even top 10. It's not even top of 100 worst things ever. Come on, bruh. We've had Black Lives Matter protests that tore up more of our country than Jan 6 did, killed more people than Jan 6 did, hurt and injured more people than Jan 6 did, destroyed neighborhoods and businesses more than Jan 6 did. Come on now. And that's all he want to stick to. You keep on pointing out all this other stuff that's small. I want to talk about the fundamental issue here. The fact that Trump won't, come on, man. And he talked about you are the voice of the Republicans. You're just saying what they want you to say. Nah, you are a puppet, my friend. That's what he is.
Our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
This is your number one, huh? We need to respect who wins elections. We need to respect the fact that when we went to sleep, our guy was up by millions. Our guy was up by millions, and then we wake up and the other guy's up by millions. Being voted for by people who are not even living anymore. Come on, man, make that make sense for me.
How about?
I mean, I feel like we keep going around the roseberry bush about this, and we're not going to make any progress. So let's stop talking about it. But
I mean, you keep saying sort of I'm nuts because I don't see the difference between the elephant and the mouse, and I'm telling you I identify them differently than you do. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well,
boom.
She's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
First of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first...
Hillary Clinton was the original election denier. Hillary Clinton was the original birther. She was the original person that put that information out about Barack Obama, but they tried to give it to Trump. Come on now. We got this memory with this selective memory that only supports our way of thinking. That's the messed up part, man. Hillary Clinton was the OG election denier, and she was the OG birther. She brought up that information. Come on, man. Bill Maher, you are extremely disingenuous, brother.
First of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
Okay. I mean,
and you're a comedian, and you know she said it, and you are denying that she said it simply because it don't support your narrative, bro.
She conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will tell you. Donald Trump won the election.
Now she knows she has to because of what Trump has done.
She came out that night in her dark purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct. And then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate. I'm just saying, look, it's not the same as Trump.
And it's unfortunate that Bill Maher, who claims to be more in the center than anyone else, claims that he don't fully back one side or the other, which is completely bull sugar honey iced tea, bro. Clearly you are trying to protect all of your relationships, your business relationships, personal relationships that you may have, that you think by speaking the truth, those relationships will be destroyed. You are a coward. You are a gump. You are a punk. There's many other words I can say, but I don't want to be held for another violation on my live stream.
What Trump did was far more severe. I'm not going to deny that, but don't try to tell me that Hillary Clinton wasn't an election denier, and Jamie Raskin, and a whole host of Democrats who are now in prominent positions on Capitol Hill. Doesn't make it great what Trump did, but they don't have clean hands either. But you bypass the immigration question. I mean, like that.
I'm not
a lot
bypassing
of
it. I think it's a disaster.
How would you put this guy back in there for 4 more years to leave the doors open?
And like it was so much better under Trump?
Yes, it was better under Trump. Are you kidding me?
Far better far better. Bill Maher is losing his mind, bro. What am I missing?
It was somewhat better.
Oh, Bill.
It was somewhat better.
Go look up the immigration rates.
Yeah, I know.
Illegal immigration
right. No,
rates.
I agree.
For 2020, for 19 to 20.
I'm not defending Biden on immigration. I don't understand why it's so difficult in this country to stop people coming through the border. I don't. And I watched that 60 Minutes piece they did on it a couple of months.
It's not difficult. But Bill, does Bill live in America? Okay, first of all, Bill Maher. Let me just say this, bro. All right? And this is with all love. I don't know why it's so difficult to stop people from coming across the border. Well, it wouldn't be if we don't solder our gates open. It wouldn't be if we actually had people making sure that it's not happening. But we're doing the exact opposite. We are encouraging it. We are paying for people to go get them and bring them here. There's a reason why. And you can see right through him. If you cannot see right through him, you need to look a little further, because this brother is lying through his teeth. And Megyn Kelly is exposing him. She is cooking you, bro.
Months ago, and they had films of people coming through this hole and the Border Patrol just watching them and basically waving. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this country can't accomplish something like that. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. But so many things in this country.
That's what's so aggravating. We can accomplish it. We can stop what's happening at the southern border. We just won't under Joe Biden. And he keeps pretending like he has no agency on it, but he does have agency. There are a lot of executive orders he could do, just like Trump did. He won't. And you know why.
He refused to. And it's simple. You know what? This don't even have to be a debate. Let's just look at the numbers. How many were coming across the border while Trump was here? Okay. How many are coming across the border while Biden is the president? Numbers. That's it.
It's because of the people who use the word Latinx, who are trying to lecture him that it's not humane to enforce our borders.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The left wing, because they're so afraid always of being called racist, they let that color every issue, and very often wind up with terrible policies.
I just want to say this, man. And listen, I done spoke enough. I'm not going to say too much else. So Bill Maher he just now got his ass beat by Megyn Kelly. She cooked him, and she cooked him in some red pumps. In some red pumps and a matching red sweater. You just got cooked, Bill. And the only reason why he got cooked is because he has no integrity. He has to make sure that he hold on to his relationships and friendships that he have met in the industry, his industry relationships. And he don't have to do that. Because one thing that we don't understand is the people who are supposed to be in our lives, they will be in our lives regardless. And the best thing we can do is be truthful up front. That way we can filter out all the people who are going to leave for stupid reasons. So if you're going to leave because I have this ideology or I look at politics this way, then feel free to leave. But if you're in a position where you are serving millions of people on a day-to-day basis information, then you need to operate with some integrity. That's just how I look at it. But y'all feel free to let me know whatever y'all want me to know in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, make sure you do so on your way out the door.